Today, I had Dianna Clampitt on with Curb Appeal Realty. What a wonderful person. She's been in the business for well over 20 years. She has a small team. She has her own company. She really works out of the Hendricks County area, and she is a fantastic real estate agent. Her husband remodels homes, builds new homes, so she has a lot of connection there. She's been in the business for so long. And she really does a wonderful job. She talked about how to do business, how to do real estate, really what's involved in real estate and how she does it and what separates her from the masses. I think you'll find it very interesting. So please listen and have a fantastic day.
There's a man in Indy who works with heart and pride. Rick Ribman's his name. Got the mortgage on his side. He sits down with the agents, tells their journey true, how they build their dreams from the ground into the blue. He talks of dedication, the long nights and the grind, from small town beginnings to the big deals they find. Stories of success through sweat and tears.
Dianna Clampitt, right?
Yes.
Clampitt is correct. The reason is because when I think of Clampitt, what do you think I think of?
No, we don't go there.
Okay, we won't go there. We won't go to the Beverly
Hillbillies.
Hillbillies.
Sound older.
Yeah, well, I am. I mean, that was a big show back in the day.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, those guys, they had done really well too. Not quite as well as you're doing. I mean, you've been in the business for 20 years or over 20 years.
Yes.
You do very large volume. Mm-hmm. You have a team. You have, I think, 2 agents right now with
Correct.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And you started your own brokerage. How long ago did you start your brokerage?
About 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing it 7 years. I love the name, even though I can't remember it. I love the name Curb Appeal Realty.
Correct.
So if somebody was looking online, it's curbappealrealty.net.
Correct.
Not .com, .net.
Yes.
Curb Appeal Realty. Okay, perfect. Well, I like to start with learning a little bit more about you. So most people had a life before real estate.
Sure.
So what did you do? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Just what is your family like? Those type of things.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, and I moved here because my husband's from here.
Okay.
And he's in the building industry. He does remodeling still today.
Awesome.
And he's built new homes for a long, long time. And so I thought it would be a good niche for me to get into real estate. So once we sent our last child to school, I got my real estate license. And it's been a great fit for both of us. We both shared clients. If I couldn't find them the perfect home, then my husband could build them the perfect home. If it just needed a little bit of remodeling, then he could do that too. So
and where do you do that? What areas?
Mainly in Hendricks County, but also Morgan County and parts of Indianapolis as well.
Okay. So once you decided to become was there any, other than that he was doing his piece, was there anything other catalysts that kind of pushed you into real estate?
I just thought it would be a good fit. Once I sent my last child to school, I thought, well, it would be flexible enough for me to still be involved in their school activities, but to be able to have a flexible schedule as well.
Well, you were right.
Yes.
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 And it's interesting. Most people think that a real estate agent has a very flexible schedule, and it is and it isn't, right?
This is true.
And it is because you kind of set your own time frame, but it isn't because your customers kind of dictate when they want to.
That's true. You do have to be willing to work 24/7, the weekends, at night, and be able to take phone calls at any time. So those type of things, will help set you apart if you answer your phone and answer text. Unfortunately, real estate hours do the talking. So a lot of times, if an offer is due back by 9 p.m., then you have to respond. And so you're talking to your clients at 8 p.m. after they've had a long day at work and trying to figure out how we're going to respond to this offer by 9 p.m.
Right.
So sometimes it's just those deadlines that create those odd hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And most people, from what I hear, most people are off work at night. So most people want to go either weekends or nights is when they tend to want to go out looking at homes.
Yes.
Although in the market that we've been in, I think people just want to go whenever the house is available.
Yes.
Is that kind of
as
change?
It's available.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you see? Is the market still that way?
It is, and it's pockets, is what I like to say. There are pockets of hot markets. Hendricks County is a very hot market still. So, when a home comes on the market, people do have to be ready to jump on it. And we are still seeing multiple offers. So that's a plus for those pockets, those areas that are still very competitive.
Yeah.
So, and great for sellers. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's hard on the buyer, but our market, we've seen appreciation in Indiana that we had never seen before.
Yes.
Over the last 3 years.
Yes. I am seeing homes that I sold just 2 years ago making a profit of, $100,000.
Yeah.
And so it's a little crazy, but yeah, I mean, it's great, for the economy in Indiana. So we like that.
Yep. Now, what is your husband's company name?
It's Designer Remodeling and Homes.
Okay, and he remodels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he builds new homes. Mm-hmm. Okay. The reason I ask is because it's really hard to find a good remodeler.
It is, and he does great work. He's been doing this for over 30 years, and room additions, remodeling kitchens, bathrooms, and even a new home if someone needs it.
Yeah.
But yes, great reputation, and does great work.
I bet it really helps though when you have a client looking to buy a house and they walk in, there's some work that needs to be done. You can probably get a bid pretty easily.
Oh, yes. And he's helped me multiple times with home inspections, which can also be a make or break situation for a seller or a buyer.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, he has, people of every trade that work for him. So if I need a plumber, if I need an electrician, whatever it is that I need, I can go to him and say, hey, I need a favor. So that helps.
Yeah. Now, you also have 2 kids?
3.
3 kids?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about, I'm sure you're proud of your kids. Of
course, yes. They are all grown, and I do have some grandchildren.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
And how many grandchildren?
So we have 8 total grandchildren.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they are a joy to be around. We love spending our free time with them. So, yeah, all my kids are grown. I have a son that lives in Chicago, and so he has 3 girls, 2 twin granddaughters,
and
then another granddaughter. So,
awesome.
And then I have a daughter that lives here, and she has 2 sons and 1 daughter. And then I have another son that lives in Illinois, a different part of Illinois, and then he has a son and a daughter.
Okay. So I have a son who's in Chicago also,
yes.
And they're having their first in August. So that'll be our second grandchild. But so what does your son do in Chicago? I'm always interested in.
Well, he actually does a myriad of things. He has his own construction company, kind of like my husband.
Okay.
But he also freelances on the side and has his own art. So his bend is more towards the arts, and so he has a studio that he works out of, that he creates art for. Like I said, it's more on the side type of a business. But he's met a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, I bet he has.
So yeah, he sold a lot of his artwork and woodwork to some very high-end clientele. So
yeah, well, I should probably get his contact information because my son, they sold a house, bought their second home up there, and he's in venture capital.
Okay.
And works for it's called Seed to Grow, mm-hmm. which is a healthy, sustainable type company. Mm-hmm. that they bring all kinds of that type of thing to market. They do a lot of farming, mm-hmm. In a sustainable way, and take it. And I can never remember the name of taking the food from just our normal to the You want to buy it's more healthy. What's it called?
Right.
Do you remember what it's called?
Okay, no, I'm
no,
sorry.
me either.
I don't.
That's because I can't explain it. But anyway, it's they're able to do that, and where they don't use chemicals and that type of thing. But they
like farm to table
type. Yeah. And so he
okay.
works on that. So, but he's always, he's really into. He does a lot of art.
Yes.
Because he's really into art.
Okay.
And
yes, maybe we could connect them. My son on Instagram is Commune Design.
Commune Design. I'll get it later. Commune Design. Yeah. So yeah, I'd be interested. Might be interested. It might be a possible client for your son. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's move on and talk more about real estate. So what is it that gets you up every morning excited to do your job?
Well, honestly, I just love helping people, and I know people say that as a cliche, but I truly do. One of the things that I do in my business is work with a lot of veterans, so I'm very well into the VA loan and how that works and how they are actually, they deserve it, first of all, and that 100% loan is available to them. And I love helping them, especially young vets coming out of the military, and they're so excited, to be home, first of all, but then secondly, they're ready to buy that first home.
Right.
And so I've helped many, many veterans buy their first home. And then also, even some of our older vets that don't even know what they deserve.
Right.
I've helped my own in-laws buy their first home, and they were both veterans, and they just had no idea what they needed or how to go about it. And so, it's been a wonderful experience just helping our veterans. And
it really is a super program.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What do you see that they like best about the program? Is there anything that they
Well, they love that 100% loan.
Yeah, 100% financing, right.
Yes, and like I said, they deserve it. So it's a perk, and, they've served our country, and I think it's wonderful that that's what they get.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of them are, like I said, they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's just a joy to help them obtain that first home.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. And they changed the VA recently because of the change in the commission structures, which was a huge boon.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that I find is in a market that's really, really tight, it seems VA needed to do something, because it was unfortunate that people wouldn't accept a VA offer because of the risk involved in a VA offer compared to a conventional. When they did what they did for us, right? When they served.
Yes.
So it's valuable.
Yes. And what I am seeing is people more likely to accept a VA offer over even an FHA offer, because I'm seeing the VA be a little bit more lenient on those items that they used to be a little bit tougher on. I mean, of course, we want the home to be safe for our veterans.
Right.
We want it to be, the roof to be good,
right.
and no major leaks, things like that. But I tell the selling agent it's nothing to be afraid of,
right.
because I've done many of these, and there's nothing to worry about. Don't have your seller deter an offer because it's a veteran. Right. That's so unfair, a stigma like that for that type of loan. They're not that bad.
No, and I fight that every day, because people have a misconception, and they actually have a misconception on FHA. There are a few little things, but conventional has its little things too, right?
Yes, true.
But you have a house. Basically, I mean, the biggest thing that we find is you have a house that has chipping paint. You're going to have to fix it.
Right.
That's the number one thing that comes up.
Yes, it is. And when I list a home, I always, encourage them to just paint. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and you're going to be so far ahead of the game, and it's going to make your home look 1,000 times better than a peeling garage or appealing, any area of your porch.
Right.
So yeah, I always encourage that. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's such an easy thing to do. I relate it, as you can't tell, I love cars. I relate it to cars. If I do a lot of car auctions, and if a car is clean and neat and nice, it brings more money than the same exact car that is dirty.
Yes, right.
We have trouble looking past the dirt. And So you don't get as much money. You want your house, your car, to look when you're selling it, to look pristine,
right,
as you can possibly get it.
Yes.
Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And paying is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if there's a veteran out there or anybody out there listening and they go, I want to work with Dianna, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I would say my cell phone, as every realtor knows, we're connected with our cell phone 24/7. So it's 317-281-8129.
Okay. What's that number again?
317-281-8129.
And they can text or call that number.
That's right.
Okay. So that's wonderful. And if there's a veteran or anybody out there, they should give you a call or text. And you already said you get back with them. So
I do. I answer my phone.
Yeah.
One pet peeve from realtor to realtor is that a lot of realtors, and I hear this from the public, they don't answer their phone or they don't respond to a text or a call. And, I can imagine for the general public that's frustrating. And
yes.
I know I've gained business because I did answer my phone. And they said, I've called 3 or 4 realtors and they didn't answer their phone. And so I always text. I always answer my phone. If it looks like a number from Florida or that I'm getting spammed, I promise I will listen to it and I will call you back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing is you can't always answer your phone, but you can call back.
Exactly.
Right? I had somebody tell me, he said, my phone's always available. He's not always available, but his phone's always available. Mm-hmm. Call, leave a message, he'll call you back, right?
Yes,
text,
yes.
He'll text you back.
Yes.
And that's to me, I'm like you. I'd rather answer the phone. It saves everybody time. But like right now, while we're doing this, we can't answer a phone, right? So if they leave a message,
yes.
we'll get back with them. And to get a hold of me, just go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. I couldn't figure out which camera I had on. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give me a call or text 317-218-9800. 317-218-9800. I don't know why. I cannot remember my own number. You know what? I have so many numbers that I just struggle remembering my number.
Well, I've had my number for about 24 years. So.
Yeah. Then you don't have any trouble
I don't
remembering
think
it.
I should forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So what would you say is your superpower in real estate?
Well, I would say, like I mentioned before, I truly do care about people. I care deeply that, I'm going to do a good job for you. I'm going to get you from point A to point B, regardless of your situation. I mean, whether it's a veteran or whether it's, an unfortunate divorce and, someone needs to move out, whether it's, I've had a situation where we had a death and there were 7 siblings waiting to get, their inheritance. So it doesn't matter. I'm into each situation as if it were my own. And I treat everybody with respect and individually. Your situation might be different than the last buyer or seller that I had. So you're going to get personal attention. And another thing that I feel like is a superpower would be, the longevity that I've had. I've had just about every situation you can have in real estate, whether it's, an inspection that's going south or, just buyer and seller not seeing eye to eye. I mean, there are so many different people think, one transaction is just the same as the next, and they're not. They're very different because you don't know who you're dealing with on the other side. You don't know what their circumstances are like. They could be very tight on their funds. So each situation is different, and I feel like after 24 years that I've probably had just about all of them. So I know how to handle each situation. And being full-time in the business, I think, is another superpower. I mean, this is what I do every single day for a living. I am not a part-time agent with another job, and this is my side gig. This is my bread and butter. This is what I have done to make people's lives, easy and make that transition easy for 24 years. So I would say that's a superpower.
I would say so, too. So is it do you work mostly with home buyers? Do you work mostly with home sellers? Is it a pretty wide range?
It's a pretty even split. I mean, it's, it just depends on what comes my way. I get referrals because of being in the business for a long, long time. Right. So I would say it's a pretty even split. For the most part, selling has been a little bit less in the last couple of years because we've got more buyers than sellers at the market, but it's pretty even. Even.
Yeah, it does always change, right? The market changes, and we have to change with the market. And if you, like right now, we have a somewhat lack of inventory. I mean, it's definitely, the media is out there saying how terrible it is, and the reality is it's not. You know, there's only 2 states that are really suffering and have excessive inventory. And even them, if you look at it, they're still under 3 months of inventory, and that's Florida and Texas, you know, who had been booming. So Indiana is one that's doing really well.
Right.
And Midwest is doing extremely well.
Yes.
You know, we're still doing very well. So what would you know, where's your, when you're not doing real estate, where's your go-to happy place? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do?
Sure. Well, of course, I mentioned the grandkids. We love our grandkids. We love having our grandkids over and spending time with them. But as a couple, we like to travel. And I'm sure a lot of viewers like to travel too. But we like cruising because we get to see a lot of the country, all over the world actually, by cruising. So we're big into cruising. We've done it for years. And this year we're excited because we're going to Alaska.
Are you? First time? Or?
Yes, first time to Alaska. And it's been on our bucket list for a while. And so we're looking forward to that. But yeah, we just love to see the world. Now, with that being said, I don't think I've ever had a vacation where I didn't take some business with me. So I'm still available, even on vacation. So, I mean, I've written purchase agreements sitting on the beach before. So it's still possible. But yeah, so I don't leave my clients behind and go, oh, sorry, I'm on vacation. So yeah, they know they can still get a hold of me, which, you know, and I have a team back here that can show houses. So it's, it works out, but yeah. So everybody will be coming to Alaska with me.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad deal.
Right.
That sounds like fun. I had a real estate agent who he was in Afghanistan, I think.
Oh, wow.
But it might have been Iraq. It might have been Iraq. And he said he was there for 3 months, and he said he sold like 7 houses.
Wow.
Because he was still communicating with people when he could.
Yes.
And he had people back here who could show houses and do what he needed done. So it is definitely possible to do that.
Yes.
Which is great. I don't think everybody can do that. Some people just don't have the team or whatever. You have the team and you have the ability to do that, which is awesome. But beyond that, I also love cruise. My wife isn't as excited about it all the time, but I love to go. What's your favorite cruise line?
Well, we've cruised a lot with Royal Caribbean. We seem to like their ships and the way that they do things. This time, because I have a travel agent that I use, and Jennifer Laver is her name, and she's in Plainfield, Indiana. One of the things that she recommended was Princess for Alaska. She said they've been there the longest, they know how to get it done, and they also, so ours is a cruise plus land, and they own all the places that we're going to stay on land. So they've been there quite a while. Yeah. And so this time we're going to give Princess a try.
Okay. How big a ship?
It's pretty big. It's the Royal Princess, and so I've toured it online, and
so it's big.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. When my wife and I went to Alaska and with some friends, and we were on Holland America.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was a really small ship, which it had its advantages in that, like, you could get really close to the glaciers and things like that the big ships can't.
Right.
And we loved it, but we did the land also, and we didn't plan it. Our friends planned it, and it was. I hope you have more than a half a day. Wherever you're, well, you're not, you obviously will. You're stopping what they own. We went to Denali, and it was like half a day in Denali. Well, you can't see anything in Denali in half a day.
Yeah.
Right. And then you had to get on a bus and take a bus to the ship, and it was 9 hours away.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
And I think we have 2 days in Denali.
Okay.
Actually, on this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Excited.
Yeah. And then Princess, my neighbors just got back like last week, and they did Princess. They're not big cruisers, and they were both very leery of going. They absolutely loved it.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it was Princess in Alaska.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they didn't have the land, but they're going again. I mean, they loved it so much.
Wow.
They're now starting to do more cruises.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but what I like about the cruises is you get on the ship and then you don't have to worry about a thing.
Right. Yes, we don't argue about where we're going to eat.
No.
Because, we're going to eat in the dining room.
Yeah, you don't argue about anything.
No, we've pre-planned all of our excursions, so we're not going to argue about that either.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. All your entertainment is in one place, and people that have never cruised before don't realize, how nice they are, how many pools they have, hot tubs, all your food, cafes, places to go, just sit. There's libraries. I mean, they're wonderful. But if you've never been, people don't know how great they are.
Yeah, and a lot of people are worried that they'll be bored. I was one of those people, but I love them.
Yeah,
I think I've never been bored.
No, there's always something to do. Yeah.
There always, and I've done it with kids. We've done the Disney cruise with our kids when they were little, and I mean, I've loved every cruise I've been on. Royal Caribbean was the first cruise I ever did. I was fortunate in the company I worked with. They took the whole company on a cruise, and it was on Royal Caribbean.
Oh wow!
Which is even better because when you go away, now you don't have to worry about work.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing can happen. Nobody's there.
That's true.
I was working for a builder at the time, as a matter of fact.
I see.
Yeah. So let's get back to the business a little bit. So as you look into your crystal ball, what about the future has you jazzed up?
Well, I would say, real estate has been around forever, since the early 1800s. So, it's not going anywhere. People are always going to need realtors. They're always going to need someone on their team to help them navigate through that process. So I'm just excited about the future. I'm excited about the future of my team, and just, continuing to help buyers and sellers navigate the complexities of the largest purchase they're ever going to have.
Yeah. And with that, as you're looking at a buyer, let's because of the new change in the laws. So I believe the real estate agent is invaluable in that process and worth every penny. And there's ways to make it just to basically be the same as it's been today anyway. What do you have to say about that? How do you look at that, and how do you explain it to a buyer?
Well, I mean, one of the, nice things about our market is that we have a very good team of attorneys that give us wonderful forms, and they're watching and monitoring the law. And I would just say, explain to a buyer, this is the new law. It's not something that we changed. It's something that was changed. And so then we just explain to them, this is the way that we have to tell you now that we get paid. And so, whatever that percentage happens to be that is agreed upon, then I'm just letting you know. And then they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So it's just basically the same to me, but it's just making it more clear to a buyer or a seller, this is how we get paid.
Yeah.
But, honestly, yes, we work very hard for that commission. And, commission is not an easy way to make a living, because you wake up every day and you have to light a fire.
Yes.
And you have to make it happen.
Yes.
So it's it's not for everyone. Most people like being an employee, so that they can know exactly what their paycheck's going to be every week. And for us, we have to work hard in order to make that happen. So we're working hard for our buyers and sellers, and then in the end, we do get a paycheck if we do a good job.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same way. I'm in commission. Been in commission my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first job in commission was back in 1983. So I've been in commission my entire life, and I can't imagine it any other way.
Right.
Because it gives you the ability, if you can help enough people, because that's really what it's about. You don't make there. I know that the public has a misconception sometimes of commission people, but the vast majority of them actually are out there trying to help you, right? They really are. The real estate agents, the top agents, the vast majority of them are there, and they care more about the customer than they do about their commission. The commission just they know the money takes care of itself, but if they take care of the customer. I think it was Zig Ziglar said, the more people you can help get what they want, the more you get what you want, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's probably not the exact quote, but I'm close, right? Close.
Right.
So I just think that's really important. People understand that we really have great agents here, and that they really aren't after the money. They're after helping people. The money just comes.
Right. Absolutely.
And that goes for any sales position, in my opinion. You can tell if they're not that way, right? But most people are that way. So what should a savvy home buyer or seller look for in a real estate agent?
Well, I would say, somebody who has been in the market, who has been in the industry for a long, long time, and someone who has a good reputation, good Google reviews. I mean, it's not hard to find reviews if you're seeking for those. And, if they're a good agent and you want a phone call, a couple phone numbers from past clients, I think they should be willing to share those as well. And I have several that would. So I think also just having a general knowledge of real estate itself. I've invested in real estate. My husband and I have flipped properties in the past during the recession. So, just having a good general working knowledge and a good level of understanding of what it takes to get from point A to point B, whatever it is their situation is. And just, like I said, having that knowledge is key. And I'm not saying, I was new once, but, an agent that's seasoned is going to be able to help you a lot more.
Yeah. So. And I would say that I would be comfortable with a new agent if that new agent is on a team like yours.
Sure.
Where they have the knowledge. They just don't personally have it, but they have you.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So your two agents have you.
Right.
And if something comes up, there's not much that you haven't seen, right? Or you can't figure out because you've been around the business so long. Or you probably have tons of connections in the business that if you didn't know, you can probably talk to somebody who did know or does have it. So, and I think that makes a big difference. I think it's a big difference too when you're out making offers on houses that you have an agent who people know who they are or know who that company is, and that it's, they know that these people know what they're doing, because it's a 30, 45 day process to go from a purchase agreement to a closing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Sometimes longer. And it's important. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, they want to buy, sell, veteran that wants to work, because I know you work a lot with veterans, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
I would say just call my cell phone, 317-281-8129.
Okay, so that's 317-281
8129.
8129. See, that's I like to keep saying it a couple different times so people have time to get it. And to get a hold of me, you can go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can give me a call at 317-218-9800. Yeah, 317-218-9800. See, I still don't know that daggone number. I'm working on it, though. So I am trying. So if you were a coach for a day, so if you were a coach for a day, where would a real estate agent be best to focus their time and money?
Oh gosh, there's so many avenues. I mean, YouTube is full of wonderful videos. I mean, you could look on YouTube and say, YouTube, teach me about the new laws in real estate. And I'm sure a lot of videos would come up. But it's a great resource. We're lucky to have, YouTube and all these people that are doing wonderful videos. And, time management would be another thing I would say is very important, because if you wake up in the morning and you don't have a game plan for the day, you don't have an outline of, hey, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to follow up with those 3 buyers that said they were interested, but they haven't got approved yet. I'm going to connect them with you and say, hey, you need to get pre-approved. And so, waking up every day having a game plan. I think a lot of agents, especially newer agents, wake up and they don't know what to do for the day. They don't know how to network. Join networking groups. That would be one thing I would say if I were a coach for a day.
Yeah.
Join networking groups. Just get to know more people, because a lot of times, you're just still in your little tiny sphere of people, and you need to expand that sphere. You need to join your local chamber. So I joined the Chamber of Commerce in my area. I joined another networking group that's called just Women in Business in general.
Okay.
And I've met a lot of other women entrepreneurs in that group. And then I've also joined a local Kiwanis group, and there's lots and lots of business people in that group. So, just having those one-on-one, ask some of those people once you join the group just to go to lunch together, gain new friendships. And that's the name of the game, is just meeting new people, having them get to know you, on a personal level, and then, gaining their trust, because half of being in business for yourself or being a real estate agent is gaining someone's trust. You're going to trust them with their son or their daughter's first purchase, or selling the grandparents' house if they've passed away. So trust is a huge issue. So getting to know people first on a personal level, and then gaining their trust.
Yeah, I think it's one of the beauties of real estate is that you can do business by just going out and living your life and enjoying meeting people.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you're a hermit, it's probably not a good business for you, right?
Right, unless you're going to hermit and make a lot of phone calls.
Yeah, there you go. But it does. You can, and loans are the same way. I had a guy who worked for me years ago, and he loved to play golf. And he said, I want to play golf every day. I said, go play golf every day. Go by yourself and get on a foursome.
Right.
And meet people.
Yeah.
You'll do lots of business that way.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. And real estate's the same way. You just go out, you meet people, and it works.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So with that thought, let's move on to, we know that there are a tremendous amount of agents who get into the business, people who get into the business, and they don't make it. Right? I think it's 90% after 3 or 5 years fail. What do you think causes that? How can they overcome that?
Well, I would say, they probably don't, maybe they're not on the right team, or they're not with the right real estate company, or perhaps even lack of training. And like I said, if they don't know what to do every day when they wake up, maybe they didn't join the networking group, and they, didn't pass out 3 to 5 business cards a day. Some of this stuff isn't hard, it's just consistency.
Yep.
So I would say they probably failed for lack of consistency, not getting up every day and doing the easy things and just getting out there. And some of it is, now we have the internet. I mean, they can post on Instagram, they can post on Facebook, once every other day is not too much, just to let your friends and family know that, hey, I'm in real estate, don't forget me. So I think some of it is just, maybe lack of confidence too, because they're not really forming those relationships, or they're not confident in what they're doing, lack of training, those type of things, I think would probably cause someone to fail.
Yeah. And I think one of the things you touched on is when you're newer, being on a team, being on the right team.
Right.
That to me seems, from everybody I've talked to, that to me seems to be the number one way to be able to be successful in real estate. The vast majority of people that I talk to that are doing tremendously well and are newer into the business, well, to a person, I think, say it was the team. Mm-hmm. They were able to get on a team, get repetition. Because one of the things, years and years ago, this is way back, I was in car sales, and in car sales, they said that the first 3 sales that a car salesperson misses is because they're afraid of the paperwork. So it's repetition, right? You just got to get those reps.
Right.
And same with, and I'm sure that hasn't changed, that fear of I don't know what to do next keeps you from doing what you need to do next.
Right.
And having a team who can teach you and kind of hold you, what do they call that? That you have somebody who's going to hold you accountable to do that. That makes a big difference. And so I'm curious, are you still adding to your team?
I am, yes. For the right people, sure. I would say it would have to be someone that is willing to be full-time in the business, and also someone who is teachable. And it doesn't matter, age, is not a factor for me, but it does have to be someone that is, willing to put in the hard work. If I say, make a list of everyone you know, and let me see it by the end of the week, we're going to upload that into a CRM that's going to help you to remind those people, then that's step one. If they're not willing to do the things that I tell them to do, it's just important we take it step by step, and then I help them get that first deal under their belt to where they are comfortable. Go with them to that first listing appointment so that they are confident in what they're doing. So, yeah, I would say for the right person, yes, I would still be looking.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your team now.
Okay, so I have 2 members of my team. One, her name is Molly, and Molly is in the thick of it. She has small children, but one of those children is getting ready to go off to preschool next year, so that's going to free up a lot of her time. Her roots are in Bloomington, Indiana, so we are not only part of the local MLS here at Mybor, but we are also part of the Bloomington MLS. Okay. So when we get leads that are in Bloomington, Molly gets those leads and takes care of our Bloomington people. And then next we have Heather, and Heather is her last child is almost done with high school. So she has a lot of free time, and Heather's roots are in Decatur Township, and she has been a realtor before and took a break, and now she's back. Okay. And so she is very much full-time in the business and working hard to get her sea legs again and get those people acquainted, that she is now back in real estate. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm guessing it's a big, you have to like the people that you're working with. I've had to other places say, no, you don't have to like them, but I think it helps to enjoy who you're working with. Oh, yes,
we're a great team. Yeah. We do things together outside of real estate. I try to plan once a month for us to go do fun things together, so that, we can keep that camaraderie. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, you hit on one other thing I wanted to just touch on before we run out of time, because it's near and dear to my heart. It's CRM. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have been working with a CRM since 1990. And in fact, it was the first computer, not really the very first computer, but the first one I ever actually used was back in 1990. I bought it so I could use a CRM. And what do you find beneficial by having a CRM, and how do you use it? Like, what do you do with it?
Okay, so the CRM that we use is called Lofty. And what Lofty does is once a person, it's all integrated with the website. So once a person lands on the website, curbappealrealty.net, they are asked to register. And once they register, then the CRM is going to send them a message that says, hi, thank you for visiting our website today. And then their criteria of what they're looking for, the longevity of, 6 to 12 months, 3 months. So it gives me information so that I can readily help them. And then say they're not ready yet. It's going to send them emails periodically just to say, hey, I'm still here for you. And just to let you know that, I'm still available, ready to help you. It's not going to bombard them with emails, but it's going to send them little reminders here and there and let them know I'm still here. Yeah. And from there, I can set them up on a search. Now, that search doesn't have to be every day, but it can be monthly if they're just not quite ready yet. But it will keep them in the loop. And that's important because, if they've landed on the website, you don't want to lose them. And then also for past buyers and sellers, they are also in the CRM, and they get a monthly newsletter. And it just kind of lets them know how the real estate market is going right now. And just to answer any questions or let them know I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah. I think that's one of the benefits of a CRM is you can keep people informed of what's going on. And the nice thing about real estate is everybody wants to know what's going on in real estate all the time, at least in there. Because if you own a house, you want to know what's going on. If you want to buy a house, you want to know what's going on, right?
Right.
If just everybody has an interest in real estate, which I think gives you something that you can give people value. And I think that's the key with a CRM. I think it used to be you just kept in front of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so few people did it, you were unique. Now everybody is keeping in front of them. And really what matters is it's not keeping in front of them, it's giving value. If you can't give value, then it's a waste of time, right? And they're just going to get irritated. So you have to give value.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. So is there any last bit of wisdom or any last things you would like to tell us?
Well, I would just say, if you're in the Hendricks County area or, even beyond that, but mainly Hendricks County, that I'm the real estate agent for you, and I have lots and lots of referrals, and I can certainly help you buy or sell.
And what if they want to get a hold of you? One more time.
317-281-8129.
Okay, 317-281-8129. 8129. See, that's why you don't want me saying it, because I can't get my own number right. You know that. I can't get my own number right. And to get a hold of me, go to Hardworking Mortgage Guys. I'm going to put it on me. Hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can call me at 317 or text 317-218-9800. 317-218-9800. I remembered the number. I'm getting better. That's good. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate
you. You are a fantastic agent, and you're really a nice person. So I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Recruitment NMLS number 664589. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.